Hello friends. You may remember a sunny day 2 to 3 weeks ago when I did the midweek devotion out here. You might have noticed the video that day seemed more choppy than usual, so I thought I'd explain why. When I went outside that day, the scenery was beautiful, plush green grass, radiant sunshine, along with the smells and colors of springtime. And my quiet little spot where no one could find me or interrupt me was perfect for recording the devotion, or so I thought. About halfway into my recording, I saw a large man walk around the corner of the building carrying a very large box on his shoulder. His bright purple shirt plus his name tag assured me that he meant no harm, was likely delivering a package. Since he saw someone sitting outside on the sidewalk, me, with the door past me open wide, he just quietly walked right past me as I was recording. Well, he was sort of quiet. Sorry. You can just set it right inside the door there. That's okay. That's all right.
The pastor?
Yes. Yeah.
I just need your first and last name.
Ed White.
Ed White?
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. White. Have a good day.
Okay. You too. I thought about turning off the recording, but then I thought, nope, Ed, this is just real life. This is how it went. Now, once he was past me, I couldn't help but laugh, but I had a devotion to record, so I couldn't laugh for long. When I began recording again, within seconds, this is what happened. Maybe. Well, if that's not real life, I don't know what is. You know, every week when I make plans for how, when, and where to record the devotion, things can happen. When things like the FedEx guy or the chimes or anything else in real life happens and it changes my plans, my first reaction is to feel like, well, that's inconvenient, or I didn't need that interruption. But the older I get, the less time it takes for that feeling to go away, as I remember Aunt Moselle's old saying, things never get so bad that they couldn't be worse. Most always things could be much.
When peace like a river attendeth my way, when sorrows like sea billows roll, whatever my lot, thou hast taught me to say, it is well with my soul. It is well with my soul. It is well with my soul.
It's a bigger story behind this great hymn, one that highlights just how minor of an inconvenience it was for me to be interrupted by a FedEx guy or noonday chimes. The story behind the song has been told many times, but none are more compelling than the way Dr. Hahn, an old professor at Perkins School of Theology, tells it. This great hymn was written in the throes of one of the most heart-rending stories in the history of songwriting. Horatio Spafford was a successful lawyer, young business person, and quite devout Christian. Because of the faith-based life that he and his family lived in Chicago at the time, he'd become friends with several evangelists, including the infamous D.L. Moody, who was also from Chicago. Spafford's fortune, which was heavily invested in real estate near the shores of Lake Michigan, was literally burned up in the Great Chicago Fire of 1871. In one night, he lost everything. This wasn't long after he and his wife had suffered the loss of their son. As if things couldn't get worse, Kenneth Osbeck tells us about Spafford's next steps to try and give his family some reprieve. Osbeck explained that Spafford planned a European trip in 1873 as a way to give his wife and 4 daughters some much-needed rest, but also allowing them to join and assist D.L. Moody in one of his revival campaigns in Great Britain. The following November, because of last-minute business developments, Spafford was forced to stay in Chicago a few extra days, but he put his wife and daughters onto the ship with the tickets that they'd purchased months earlier. Spafford would follow shortly thereafter. On the night of November 22nd, the ship that his wife and daughters were on was accidentally struck by another much larger English vessel. Their ship sank in 12 minutes. A few days later, the few survivors landed in Wales, and that's where Miss Spafford sent a telegram to her husband which read, "Saved alone." Spafford took the next available ship to join his wife. Multiple writers tell us that he asked the captain as he's traveling over to notify him when their ship was near the place where the ship carrying his daughters had sunk. When they reached that place, Spafford used that sacred time and space to write his hymn.
And Lord, haste the day when my faith shall be sight. The clouds be rolled back like a scroll. The trump shall resound, and the Lord shall descend. It is well with my soul.
So Spafford and his wife went on to serve God in many ways, including a move to the Holy Land where they began a movement that would eventually become the American Colony Hotel. This was the setting where a century after Spafford wrote his hymn, the first talks happened between Palestine and Israel, which led to the day when the 1983 Oslo Peace Accord was signed. You know, life will not always go according to the script that you or I or anyone else is writing. Life for some of us has gone so far off script that the rest of us wouldn't dare to mention out loud the minor inconveniences that interrupted our normal days. But at the end of the day, this great hymn still speaks to us all. It was written amidst such devastating loss, and for every person who listens or who dares to sing "When Sorrows Like Sea Billows Roll," they make Spafford's words their own. By allowing ourselves to acknowledge those feelings and to know that others like Spafford have been there, we are empowered to move toward the song's ending. And there we join Spafford and the saints of our faith who conclude with profound confidence in God's sovereignty. There we too proclaim that our faith shall be sight, and that no matter what comes our way, we still say, "It is well with my soul."
It is well with my soul. It is well with my soul. It is well with my soul.